This time, please join me in a word of prayer. Our Heavenly Father, as we come to you this morning, open our hearts and our minds to your word. Help us to find peace within your teachings. Let us be an example of your word for others to follow. Thank you for the many blessings we all have, and especially for the opportunity that is abundant in Mecklenburg County. We're very thankful for all that make sacrifices to make us safe, protect us, and teach our children. Help us to make decisions that will create resolve for the good of all people. May those decisions have the foundation of your spiritual word. Help us to live as united people, one nation under God. Let us dedicate our service to make Mecklenburg County a better place for all citizens. May we all be surrounded by your glory one day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. At this time, I'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Everyone looked at the agenda. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Chair, so moved.
Motion been made. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Hope everyone's looked at the minutes for the July 14th meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve these minutes.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion been made. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Emergency Services Committee, Mr. Harper.
Yes, sir. A meeting of the Emergency Service Committee was held in the county of Mecklenburg on July 14th, 2025 at 1 p.m. in the Board of Supervisors meeting room of the Gould Building. It was called to order and roll call. Members present was myself and the Honorable Chair, Tom Tanner, Brenda Blackwell, and Kirk Rabbit. Also present, Sterling Wilkerson, Claudia London, Dennis Spence, Justin Birch, Alice Gottschalk, Judy Sheffield, and Jenny Whitmore. Adoption of the Design Emergency Response Agency Standards. Mr. Gottschalk and Mr. Birch presented the proposed Mecklenburg County EMS response plan addressing emergency medical service response time standard in alignment with the 12B VAC 5-31-610, which require localities to establish and maintain response time standard to the EMS agency must meet at least 90% of the time. Previously, Mecklenburg County followed a plan developed solely by the Mecklenburg County Rescue Association with no direct county input. That plan allowed for response time up to 45 minutes, which is significantly above national recommendation. In contrast, the new plan developed through the County Emergency Service Department represents a major improvement. It established a standard response times exceeding 15 minutes 90% of the time, moving us much closer to the national goal recommended by the NFPA 1710, which called for first responders on scene within 8 minutes 90% of the time. Upon the motion of this emergency response plan of Mr. Tanner, the board voted unanimously to recommend adoption of designated emergency response agency standards. Myself, Tom Tanner, Brandon Blackwell, Kirk Rabbit voted aye. I would like to put this in a motion to receive this designated emergency response plan of 2025.
Everyone's heard the motion. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Also, we had an authorization to order the next ambulances. I would like to move this in a motion. We ordered 2-1 road rescue for the proposal of Mecklenburg ES, May 17, 2025, road rescue work order Mecklenburg ES, May 17, 2025. These were to be ordered. Mr. Birch reviewed the proposed work order and the drawing for the new roadside automatic type 1 ambulances. The committee discussed the rapid rising costs, extended build time, age, and the current fleet, and decided it was the best interest to order 2 ambulances. Upon a motion from Ms. Blackwell, the board voted unanimously to recommend authorization of the 2 ambulances. Myself, Tom Tanner, Brenda Blackwell, and Kirk Rabbit voted aye. I would also like to put this into a motion that we release the responsibility of the county to pay for these ambulances when due time is ready? I think it'd be 4-year time.
It's going to be 3 to 4 years. So right now it's in our CIP in the out years, but because it's not an adopted year one, we need the authorization to actually place the order, and then we will pay for them upon delivery at that future period in time.
Have you heard the motion?
Okay, everyone's heard the motion. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries.
The meeting of the Emergency Service Committee was held in the county of Mecklenburg, August 11, 2025 at 8 a.m. in the Board of Supervisors room, the Gould Building. Chairman, myself, called the meeting to order. Members present, myself, Mr. Tanner, Mrs. Blackman, and Mr. Gravett. Also present, Mr. Jennings, Mr. Franklin, Mrs. Wilkinson, Mr. Wilkins, Mr. Lundy, Mr. Birch, Mr. Gottschalk, Ms. Sheffield, and Ms. Whitmore. Mr. Gottschalk and Mr. Birch reviewed the current services model for the emergency response operation throughout the county and the need to have an entire county operating under one formal structure. Upon a motion, Mr. Tanner and the committee voted unanimously to instruct the county administrator, county attorney, and the emergency service director to draft a revision chapter 34 on Mecklenburg Code of Ordinances and it returned to the committee for further consideration. Mr. Birch provided the committee with follow-up on discussions regarding the John H. Kerr Dam flood concern, but we're going to stop there and put it into a motion that we receive that the county administrator and the Mr. Tanner, the county administration and the emergency service director drafted a revision of chapter 34 of Mecklenburg County Code of Ordinances.
Okay, everyone's heard the motion. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion carries.
All right. Last, Mr. Birch stated Mecklenburg County EMS is fully staffed for the first time, having 12 paramedics operating 2 ambulances 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with 3 ambulances 50% of the time. There was no further business, and we were dismissed.
Thank you, Mr. Hargrove.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Mr. Tanner, Economic Development.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Economic Development Committee met on August 11th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. in the Board of Supervisors meeting room. Board members present, Tom Tanner, David Brankley, Sterling Wilkerson. Others present, Jim Jennings, Andy Hargrove, Kirk Gravett, Brenda Blackwell, Claudia Lundy, Alex Gottschalk, Angie Kellett, Judy Sheffield, and Jenny Whittemore. Chairman Tanner called the meeting to order. Mr. Gottschalk reviewed the following fiscal year 25-26 economic strategic goals. Number 1, existing business outreach. Number 2, establishment of new businesses, recruitment priorities. Number 3, promotion of Mecklenburg County as a place of business opportunity. Number 4, identification of the next purpose for the IDA property. Number 5, medical facilities introductory work. Number 6, business development strategic funds budget proposal. Upon a motion of Mr. Brankley, the committee voted unanimously to recommend approval of the fiscal year 25-26 economic strategic goals. Mr. Chairman, I'll pause there and make a motion that we adopt these 25-26 economic development strategic goals.
Okay. Everyone's heard the motion. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion carries.
All right. Next, we discussed the RIFA agreement with the town of South Hill and the members that we needed to put on this board. Upon a motion of Mr. Brankley, the committee voted unanimously recommending appointing Mr. Gottschalk and Ms. Kellett to serve a 4-year term on the Route 58 RIFA. Mr. Tanner to serve a 2-year term, and Mr. Wilkerson to serve as an alternate for the 4-year term. Mr. Chairman, I'll pause right there to make a motion that we adopt these appointments to the Roanoke 58 corridor RIFA.
Okay. Everyone's heard the motion. Any discussion? All great candidates. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
And the meeting was adjourned.
Okay, we go to our VDOT report. Mr. Brad Rogers, I believe this is your first trip to our meeting.
It is, and before I speak to that, first let me say good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the board. I want to introduce myself, Brad Rogers, been with the department 22 years. As of June 25th, I assumed the role of residency administrator. You all know that Tommy was blessed to see 47 years with the department. He is now retired and enjoying life, I can only hope. So this morning, I got a brief few comments to make to the report that you have in your packet. I want to say that we had 66 complaints given to us in the month of July from the citizens in the county. Some of this also came from the call center resulting from the storm and the high water event we received in July. As of right now, over 55 of those work orders have been closed, so those complaints have been addressed. Right now, Hayes Mill Road is also currently under construction. We're still looking at an October 1st deadline. Unless weather affects us, we should meet that easily. Mowing is ongoing in primary and secondary throughout the county. As far as construction, surface treatment has been completed throughout the county in several routes. UPC 124673, this is a safety improvement contract. Routes 49, 92, 903, and 615. They're updating the painted striping on the road and then updating signs throughout these corridors. Other than that, I also have some Board of Supervisors manuals that I inherited that were sitting on my desk when I got this position. I was going to bring them this morning, but I had to park across town, but I will make sure that you get those. That's all I have to report at this time. You have any questions or concerns for me?
I have just one question concerning Highway 47. I noticed that, and I travel that road quite a bit, but between Chase City and South Hill, a lot of the crossover pipes, you know, when you hit, you can tell they've got some maybe sag or have settled a little bit, or one corner may have a little pothole in it and anything. Is that being looked at all? Because
You're referring to what's existing, nothing new, right?
No, nothing
Yes.
new.
I can speak to that. I know several of them, they got the eyeball on those. The same crew on the western end of 47 is doing the rural rustic on Hayes Mill, so it is on their work list.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those you may actually see completed by the end of the fiscal year, but I will touch base with them and get an update on that. But yes, they are.
I mean, you
being
can
reviewed.
feel them when you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, especially on a bigger truck and all.
Yes, sir.
And I know you've probably noticed them too. Yeah. So I certainly don't want one caving in.
Yes, sir, that would be bad. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Highway 654, where it intersects with Bridge Road. Normally they cut those bushes back once a year in that curve.
Yes, ma'am.
Would like to have it done again.
Okay. 654.
Where it meets with Bridge Road.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, I'd like to add to that on Mill Creek Road in Clarksville. It's out in the country. And that part is growing, but the roads are kind of small, and where the water has washed, sometimes when you try to pass somebody on a boat or a bigger vehicle, you have to stop, because if you don't, it drops off. I was wondering if you could send somebody out there to put some gravel in so that they have enough room for two cars to pass at the same time.
Yes, sir, we can definitely take care of that. And that's Mill Creek Road?
Yes, sir, Mill Creek Road.
Any other concerns? Yes, sir.
One thing, the 6th Street and Virginia Avenue in the town limits of Clarksville, we still have some concerns about some parking issues going on. I know maybe it might need to be paved, but it's a little bit confusing, and some citizens are having some complaints as far as one side of the road is parking parallel with the road, and the other side's parking kind of at a 45, and snow. Everybody's confused.
Right.
So if we could try to just get somebody to take a look at that and see if we can't get that.
Has this been looked at previously?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, we've been trying to get it looked at, but whether it's been looked at or not, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look into that and I'll follow up with you on that.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
I'd just like to say, Brad, I look forward to working with you. I've known Brad for a long time, and he's a good young man, and he does a little preaching too, Mr. Hargrove. So would you not worry him to death about Overlook Road?
I'm a pray on it.
Thank you. I appreciate those words. I look forward to working with you all in the future as well.
Welcome.
Absolutely, welcome.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay. Alex, you got any public comment? I don't think it's going to be any, but we'll see.
Good first for a while.
That'd have been a good time to sign somebody up, I guess. All right, Alex.
All right. So the first item we have for you today is a resolution in support of our application for a community development block grant application for Oak Road and Surface Road. We previously have done a planning grant for this activity that has been successfully completed. And now it is time to proceed to the actual development and construction grant application. The resolution in your packet would authorize us to complete that application. We do have to, as part of that resolution, waive the building and the zoning permit fees, but that's estimated to be about $1,100 in order to gain up to $1.25 million of federal funds. So that seems to me like a pretty good deal to make. So
Yeah, that would be easy.
that this is in District 5, but as I said, we previously have began the operations towards this outcome.
Okay, so we need a motion to
Adopt the resolution.
Adopt that resolution. Ms. Lund?
I will adopt it since that was originally mine.
Yeah. I was going to ask you if you'd do that. All right, y'all have heard the motion in discussion. All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Those opposed, the motion carries.
The second item we have for you today is a follow-up to our conversation at the previous board meeting regarding the erosion and sediment control plans review. We have had further dialogue with the Lake Country Soil and Water. Following our meeting last time, their board has decided that they wish to withdraw from this activity altogether and will be ending their plans review offering in support of our ordinance at the end of this calendar year, so December of 2025. Our next steps would be one of, well, in the interim, we are going to absolutely have to seek outside support and change the plans administrator essentially, which is what we're doing now with the outside support. So change it from Lake Country Soil and Water to a third-party contractor. We know of at least two potentially, and there's potentially more, people who do this work. So we would be set for some interim period of time. We're gathering information regarding cost estimates so that we know the per hour amount of work, and then once we can compute the total amount of time, we can kind of figure out what the total budgetary impact might be and what procurement method we might have to then advance depending on the total magnitude of the cost. But by having a outside professional, we will be able to continue the highest level of service delivery and plans review in the interim term. So we're thinking as a result of to try to entice people to service this, we will have to do pretty much a service offering for the entirety of 2026. I think that's the optimal short-term solution. I have asked around to several other localities what they do in this space. The answer is generally they contract it out. So in the Southern Virginia region, Halifax County uses their soil and water as well. But beyond that, everybody else pretty much contracts it out. And most of the people from the West, from Pennsylvania, city of Danville, Henry, all the way towards Prince Edward, they pretty much use the same third-party contract service, which is Hurt and Profit out of Gretna, who does a fair bit of work here in Mecklenburg County. The closest locality to us that really has their own in-house position is Dinwiddie. I spoke to Kevin last Thursday, and he said that they actually have a vacancy right now, and their first solicitation yielded no outcome, and they are currently on their second solicitation for employees. So this is a job space that is rather limited. Long-term, if we want to host a position for ourselves, we could do that. We could advertise and see what happens. Or we could do the model that we were speaking of briefly at our last meeting, which is essentially bringing somebody with out of an institution with a job guarantee to import net new talent into Mecklenburg County. In order to do that effectively, it would be best to pair it with the third-party outside consultant and have an overlap so that they could have some kind of knowledge and exposure to that kind of expertise as they're being brought up to speed. So the question that we would have to determine is whether it would be, if we want to go that approach, would be whether it's best to do that next year or it would be to do it the year after. If you do it in the next year, the approach we could take is we bid out the services, have the services third party guaranteed 26. We go to an institution of higher learning, and that's most likely going to be Virginia Tech, Virginia State, maybe NC State, since apparently I have a track record now of hiring multiple NC State people in a row. Don't know how that came about, but and so we could then solicit a student who would be graduating at the end of this year to come on board July 1, 2026, and just go to the budget process knowing we're going to have that extra position. The alternative is we could delay that for another year, and that way you get still go to the institution of higher learning, have somebody come work next summer as an intern, get exposed to this, then help pretty much direct their course load in their senior year, and then have them come out of the program in July 1, 2027 with that opportunity. So those are your options if you want somebody in-house. From a technical perspective, from a capability perspective, that third-party contractor is going to give you a higher value of service than somebody coming out of school, but that might not be the best long-term selection just by virtue of you're relying on people who are outside of, our direct purview and have other responsibilities. There's still several pieces of information still to figure out. Like I said, we're in conversation with some of those external firms to just kind of get a rough estimate of what this might cost. But ultimately we're going to have to determine, do we feel this is something that could be in-house, or is it better to be external? Based on talking to Avery, based on Josh's conversations with some of the other places where he's dealt with before, I'm not convinced that this is a position that has a full-time workload by being a 40-hour-a-week position. That's not to say we couldn't have other value out of it. If they can do the plans review, they can easily do the plans inspection, and that would just allow us to inspect more. There's certainly other plan and zoning tasks that I feel confident that somebody in this area would be able to pick up, but that is something to consider as you weigh whether it should be a full-time position or not, is that this scope of services, if you will, is probably not a 40-hour-a-week job.
Alex, I assume Brunswick County was probably thrown into the same position we were. Is that a possibility that you could share, if you was to hire somebody, to share it with another county? We
certainly could do that. I have not talked to Brunswick about this at this point in time. I was intending to do that on Thursday, but then the meeting we were at, the representative from Brunswick was not present. But certainly that's a possibility. My understanding, based on Avery's commentary, is that the amount of work in Brunswick is rather limited. That's not to say it's not a viable model, but I don't think that and ours is going to bridge the gap between the, say, 40-hour-a-week deficit.
So you recommend on the short run doing it out of house?
We absolutely have to do it out of house on the short run. The question becomes, what do we want to do in kind of like the medium term?
Based on the workload that we have now, what would out of house cost versus how much percentage?
That's the information we're gathering at this point in time.
Okay, versus having an employee.
There's about 20 to 30 plans that on average we review every single year. Those vary considerably in how much each plan takes from a time perspective. I mean, there's some anything over 10,000 acres of disturbance requires the plan. So you could have 10,000 acre one day, and the next day you have a 250,000 acre one. I mean, it's, or square feet. I'm sorry, not acres, square feet. 10,000. 10,000. Yeah.
We're going to do a third of the county.
10 square feet, 10,000 square feet or 250,000 square feet of disturbance. So that's quite a bit from an acres perspective, or or a plan set perspective. Those are quite different time spent reviewing those things. So it's pretty variable.
All right, so it looks like you've got a good plan set in place, and we just move forward from there.
Yeah, but I did want to report to you that Soil and Water did in fact make their determination. So
But no service will get disrupted.
no.
That's the key.
Yes, we will definitely have somebody third-party contract in place by the end of the year. Yep.
Okay.
So then the third item we have for you today, I'm going to let Russell weigh in on this. This is the opioid settlement resolutions.
Yeah, excuse me. Years ago, the county voted to participate in class action suits against manufacturers, excuse me, and distributors of opioids because of all the havoc that was caused by those drugs. We're now moved forward to a point where settlements are beginning to take place, and you've approved settlement resolutions in the past. Today, you're asked to approve two more. One of them is a settlement against 8 of these defendants. I would point out to you that all 50 states and the District of Columbia and the U.S. territories have approved these settlements, but it has to be done on a state-by-state basis so that your attorneys are authorized to sign off on the settlement for you. So as far as the settlement goes, one of them is, as I said, with 8 defendants, relatively small. When I say relatively small, it's not small for all 50 states, but when it trickles down to you, the county will get about $21,500 out of the settlement. The recommendation of staff is that you approve the resolution authorizing your attorneys to sign off on this settlement.
Okay. So we'll entertain a motion to approve that resolution for the attorneys to sign off.
Mr. Chair, so moved.
All right. Everyone's heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, the motion carries.
All right, and there's another settlement, a little bit more interesting, so I saved it for last. This is the Purdue Pharma settlement. Purdue was apparently an egregious violator of a lot of, and created a whole lot of problems with opioids. The settlement with Purdue Pharma is $7.4 billion, not million, $1 billion. The Purdue Pharma is a closely held, maybe family-owned for all I know, company owned by a group called the Sacklers, S-A-C-K-L-E-R-S. They have consistently denied any wrongdoing on their part, any wrongdoing on the part of their company. However, they personally contributed $6.9 billion of the $7.4 billion settlement. So I found that to be interesting. I also found it interesting that they can pay $6.9 billion because I'll bet you $1 to a donut that they have some more money.
They're not broke.
This one is more significant. The county would receive about $136,000 as its share of the settlement. However, under the settlement terms worked out in bankruptcy court and elsewhere, that's payable over a term of 15 years. So as a practical matter, it probably means an income stream of about $9,000 a year for the county for 15 years. The recommendation, again, is that the board approve this settlement and authorize its attorneys to sign off on the settlement on behalf of Mecklenburg County.
Okay. Y'all have heard the information on the resolution. Anybody like to make a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
A motion's been made. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Then the motion carries.
The next item we have is the Lake Advisory Committee dissolution or disposition. Last month, we discussed this as well, and at that point, Mr. Tanner made a motion to instruct us to bring forward an ordinance to repeal the Lake Advisory Committee due to the fact that it had not met in 5 years. And so we have in front of you today an ordinance to do so. This ordinance repeals the prior ordinance, dissolves the committee, and sets up a process by which these will be handled in the future, should we have any. Under the new process, applications will be submitted to the Planning and Zoning Department. The department will then refer those to the Department of Wildlife Resources for study and evaluation. Upon receipt of DWR's information, it will come before this body. This body will either act on it or refer it to the Planning Commission as you all see fit. In making this activity, in doing this activity, public hearing would be warranted before this body before any action is taken. In addition, this procedure that we have in place in the ordinance, in the proposed ordinance, would set up a process by which it could also be revoked. The initiation of that revocation could be by a member of the Board of Supervisors or by application by a citizen group. And that would run through essentially the same process as the original application. It would require a decision by this board, this body, or this body could refer it to the Planning Commission as you so see fit. Additionally, the ordinance, as the past one did, put the cost burden completely on those seeking this. So they have to pay not only the application fee, but they also have to pay for the cost of the installation of the buoys. And if the buoys are placed in a spot that DWR objects to, then they also have to pay the cost to move said buoys to a location that is more appropriate. And so that all of those items are contained in this ordinance. And so therefore, in order to proceed, we would need you all to adopt this ordinance.
Okay. Everyone heard the background on this? Need a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adopt this ordinance to dissolve this Lake Country Advisory Committee and establish this ordinance to govern it going forward.
Everyone's heard the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next item we have, we received from the Virginia Department of Transportation. They have a policy internal to VDOT that requires every 4 years the governing body of each locality to adopt pretty much the authorization for my position or the equivalent position, whatever locality it may be, to sign project documents with VDOT. The last one we have on file, however, was in 2018. And so it is a time for us to readopt this. And this would allow for me to sign any of the necessary pieces of information when they go to improve a road. So like when they're doing the rural paving program, for the projects that we have decided that we will fund from our own resources, I can sign off on that to commit that we, the county, will be funding those programs. So it is in order to proceed with those and any other ones, if we were to get grant funding for revenue sharing or for any other projects, then we need to have this on file that you all have granted to me the authority to sign VDOT paperwork.
Okay. Everyone understand the information on signing the resolutions for VDOT? Entertain a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion been made. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next item is listed as the staff reports. We did that so you all would see it before we got drowned in the documentation of the next item. So those are in your packet for your perusal at your leisure. And then the next item is the Southside Behavioral Health Performance Agreement. This is a exhaustive document that is actually a contract between the behavioral and CSB authorities throughout the Commonwealth and the Commonwealth of Virginia. Yet the Code of Virginia requires that each locality that formed those entities authorize their participation in this performance contract. So all we are doing is granting Southside the ability to enter into this agreement with the Commonwealth of Virginia. Every locality in Virginia has to do this. I don't particularly understand why it's necessary at this point in time. However, it is a requirement. We have to do it. And so therefore it has swamped everything else in this agenda packet. But that's what we have before you, is just we need an authorization to allow the Southside Behavioral Health to enter into this performance agreement with the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Okay, everyone has heard that. We need a motion to.
Yeah, so moved.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Lundy.
I know she read all 330.
I was going to say, Mr. Brinkley finished up reading about 1:30 last night.
It was late night.
So anyway, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? The motion carries.
That is the conclusion of the county administrator's report.
Okay. So next, we've got the consent calendar on July expenditures, and I know I'm going to get to Marcia next after that, but need a motion for that.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor of the motion to approve the consent calendar, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Marcia, you sent a lot out about the revenue, and you don't have quite all the figures yet.
Still getting all the accruals in, so we'll have all that information for you in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, we usually don't get that till about mid-September anyway, do we?
It'll be a little bit longer, but we're getting it all done.
Looking forward to big numbers.
Yeah, and so when they conclude that process, then they provide the information to me, and then I write a memo to you all that if we have any surplus funds during the year, assigns those to various purposes. So once I get that, I will eagerly start typing away.
Very good. So, board member matters. Ms. Gravitt, you want to go first?
I can, but it's gonna be short and sweet.
Well, I like that.
I don't have anything.
That's a miracle.
Ask him the question again. He didn't understand it.
That's good stuff. Well, you can tell when it's July and August.
Get too busy to talk.
Ms. Blackwell?
Yes, I attended the Family Friends event at Chase City Rescue Squad, and they're very appreciative of what the board has done for them. And I received an update on future planning, and they plan to expand the facility. So that was very interesting for that session. That's all.
Okay. Let's work.
I don't have a lot either, Mr. Chairman, but I will say I'm glad to hear of the ongoing training and the discussion about, John H. Carr Dam. We brought that up I brought it up last month, and as fate would have it, they already had it scheduled to do it. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, I have full confidence in the Corps and our county. It's never really a question, but I do think it should definitely be monitored. I mean, the dam is 60, 70 years old, whatever it comes out to. So, anyway, that's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Taylor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First thing, I know schools are back open, so I ask everyone to please watch out for the school buses and be mindful of when you're supposed to stop and when you're not. I attended a new teacher dinner the other night in South Hill, and it was very inspiring to see all of the new teachers we have here in the county, and I think they're going to do a tremendous job for the students here. And thank the Mecklenburg Business Education Partnership for putting that on. I think it's important that we make them feel welcome and make them a part of the county. Went with Mr. Carter the other night to the one of the HOA meetings for the Bracey Convenience Center in Bracey, and I say Mr. Carter still has his knack for being able to work out things. I think we've got most of their questions and concerns answered, and it's coming along well. It's going to be really nice when it's opened, and I hope the citizens will appreciate it once it's completed. I'd like to welcome Mr. Rogers left. I was going to welcome him, but he's gone. And I know we have one of our new EMS employees in the back, so I'm going to let Justin introduce him. No, you ain't got to do all that.
Josh Whitty is one of our new paramedic supervisors we brought on July 1st. He's actually been part-time with us since we started. And adjustment we made in salaries, I think Josh is one of the ones we were able to bring back home. He was previously driving about an hour and a half to work every day. And now he's bringing that challenge back home for us, so thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. We're lucky to have you.
And I know I did not attend National Night Out the other night, but I know the sheriff's office and a lot of other police departments were involved in that, and thank them for that, because as they know, it takes the whole community in order to try to tackle this issue of crime. That's all I got, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, Mr.
All right,
Chairman. Ms. Lundy?
Tag you it.
See, he has said two things I was getting ready to say. So.
I'm gonna tell you what,
You need to volunteer.
Ms. Lundy, I just wrote a note right here
So
that you go first next time.
Yes. Okay.
Y'all
All
need
right.
to talk.
I would like to welcome Mr. Brad Rogers to VDOT. I know we'll work well with him as we have with the ones in the past. School is open. I was coming by this morning and more parents' cars was coming out than buses were going in at the high school. So be careful, watch out for the lights and students on the highway, what have you. And most of all, Mr. and Ms. Lennon be celebrating their 58th anniversary on the 24th.
Congratulations. Mr. Brooke, you done, Ms. Lundy?
Yes, I'm finished.
That's right.
Mr. Lundy's a good man, ain't he?
Do we need to give him a resolution?
We ought to look into it.
I'll read it.
Alex, you write that up. I'll leave it alone. No, I just wanted to bring up two things that that's kind of in our little small community and things that is talked about and don't like a lot's done, but a drug addiction and mental health. And I've had two of those incidents right in our little small area right there. And a lady called me that her son, he's probably 50-some years old. He had a drug problem and probably stole a little bit, went to jail, spent 10 years in jail, come back out, and then, you know, when you've been in jail 10 years and you come back out and you have no training, no nothing, who's going to hire him? Who's going to hire him? And I know he tried, and then he got back on the drugs, and he can't come back into his mother's house and stuff. So he's going back down that same trail. So, but he'll eventually be back in jail, and you know, the cost as much to have him in jail as trying to get him some help or something to do something. But like again, and I called Southside Behavior about him trying to get the lady some help because she didn't really want him to go to jail again. And so when I called him, everything is volunteer. He has to go volunteer. What percentage goes volunteers to go back, go to get help and done? And the same thing with mental health. I think Miss Kite wrote a little something of a neighbor across the road there that's had a son that's got a mental health problem. And he continuously gets in trouble. He sometimes don't take his medication and stuff like that. And he got arrested. He's in jail now. So my question again is, him in jail, maybe he needed to be there, but is that going to solve the problem? It's not going to solve the problem. It's going to come back out with the same mental health problem there. So I don't know if our court systems or something needs to be more demanding that you get them in a place to get them the help they need and things, because they're not going to volunteer. Because 90% of it's like an alcoholic or anything else. They don't realize they do have a problem and stuff. So I don't know. It look like I say, we talk about it and then we don't say nothing else about it. But if we're not going to do nothing at the federal and state level, maybe we need to start then at this level and start talking about doing some hand of resolution or something to the higher up and force people to, let's start and make a change on this. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Frank. Mr. Hargrove.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to direct this to Ms. Judy, because Mr. Branker brought it to my attention that every time he gets paid every month, his wife signs his check and spends it. I was wondering if you could do a direct deposit for the board members.
I can. It will go in 2 days after the first.
Okay. So they would have to give an account.
I think Mr. Franklin can hang on them 2 days.
So just make sure she gets your account so it can be direct.
If anyone wants to do it, all I need is a voided check. I need something from the bank.
I like getting that in the mail. That's the only one I get.
Ain't that the truth?
Really?
He had the same problem.
My wife took mine this morning.
The blank check?
It's going to be blank on my end.
The next thing is that, Dr. Charles, how do we go about asking the town to put another light out there where the new facility is? Because we need it. So when we leave here, a lot of time we leave here on that night meetings, we walk in the shadows, and it's not good for women. And you know, as prosperity begins to grow, people in areas, evil come. And so somebody could be waiting out in the shadows. You don't see them because they're standing behind the car because the shadow's behind. Your light is behind you in the forest in the shadow. How can we get the town board to put us at least 1 or 2 more lights out there on the side of the street before we begin to occupy that building?
We certainly can begin a conversation with the town, and depending on where its placement, it may be that VDOT has to be involved as well. As we found out recently, VDOT owns a considerable amount of the sidewalk in the town of Boyden, and it goes much further than just the road face in here. So we might have to have their involvement as well.
I would add to that, if the town can't do it, can we do something off the side of the new building if they can't do it? Just something to get it lit up out there.
We must have missed out on that when the Tobacco Commission was layering those lights in on every little town in southwest Virginia. That was 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
That's all I have.
That's all you have?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I don't have much either. Time is a big commodity this time of year, isn't it, Mr. Grant? So anyway, I do want to welcome Josh Whidden. Known him all my life, all his life, and he's helped me on the farm some too, but he is an absolute dedicated emergency services person, and he'll be a big asset to this county. So I just want to welcome you, Josh. Want to welcome the other Josh. I think this is the first meeting you've set in.
Absolutely.
You and Lucky, y'all, we've got 2 very dedicated employees down there to get the work done. So
And that's why
thank you for what you do.
And that's why the meeting went so quick. We didn't have anything from them.
Well, your first meeting, you didn't get to stand up and do any zoning.
I,
was on vacation, so work 1 week, went on vacation.
Wait, look,
Yeah.
Mecklenburg County is a great place to work.
I will say, now that we bring up plan zoning, I should probably just announce that for temporary purposes, while the downstairs is being worked on, they have moved the plan and zoning office to the new side.
Okay.
Because we have to do some work in their corridor to upgrade that as well. So if people are looking for that office, there is signage downstairs that directs them to the new part, but they have set up shop down there. Although they would love to stay there forever and ever and ever, as has been expressed, it is temporary.
That was my next question on the Good Bank.
Yeah.
Where are we with what's the move-in date and all
So,
that kind of
so we have begun a very slow process of occupying the new space over there. My desk was carried over on Friday.
So you over there now?
Yes.
Okay.
I am. Nancy's over there. Planning and zoning's downstairs, temporary. They are racing as much as they can to finish up their side. Everything is pretty much dependent on each other. That's the big problem. We need our furniture to arrive so that we can put our furniture over there, so that we can move over there, so that they can come back over here. So everything's kind of just, this balancing test.
So you have closure by the first of the year, you think?
Oh, first of the year? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We anticipate.
Like complete closure, you know?
Yeah, we
That
anticipate.
takes a while.
Yeah, we anticipate that the furniture will be arriving in the next within the next 2 weeks. So we should all be over there, or before Labor Day. They'll be over here doing work at that point in time. So we're definitely at the crossover stage. There is a whole way of broken through. So there is a connection now between the 2 buildings. Yeah, literally, they went into Judy's office and smacked out the wall in there and everything. So yeah. So we do have a connection. So that's facilitated a lot of the ability to go back and forth. So we're at that point where we are going to have change every time you all show up here. There will be probably a change in location of where everybody's housed at.
We will have some pain over here for a while, too.
Mm-hmm.
Not in this room as much.
The other thing, has it been many change orders?
There's been a handful. Most of them are fairly minor in nature. But there's been a couple. We had the roof up here, when they flew the drone over, the roof up here needed the existing roof on this building needed some repair work. We had a change order to change.
Like 1 or 2%?
Oh, it's probably well less than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that total project, 7?
The construction part was in the 6s, and the project altogether is probably going to be it's going to be less than 8.5. I would guess it's going to come in probably in the 7s. Okay. But there's non-construction part of that as well, because there were some things that were done.
That's counting some of the things you're doing here. Also.
Yeah. That's part of the construction project.
Okay. All right, that's all I have. Well, do we go in closed session before we take 5 minutes?
No, you can take a recess now and
then come back and go in closed session.
Yes.
All right, we'll take a 5-minute recess.
rushing you all.
What, you got a hot date, Chase anniversary?
Oh, look, we on vacation.
On vacation, the whole month.
Yeah, but the last
You ready?
2 weeks
Okay.
is special.
We'll continue with our meeting now. We'll entertain a motion to go into closed session. Do I need to read what this is about, Alex? Okay. This, like someone to make a motion to discuss consideration on interviews of prospective candidates for employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, discipline, or resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of any public body. Ms. Black, would you like to make that motion to go into closed session for that?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
The motion been made. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are now in one thing, because Alex Wells made me think of this. IT consultant that we've done, where is all that at? I meant to ask
We
you.
are meeting about that as soon as you break with this meeting.
Well, we
We have a personnel committee meeting scheduled.
we need you and Judy for a few minutes. Can you wait? Can that wait?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Anybody have anything?
No, sir.
All right, we'll consider this meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
And